Alrighty, we are live. Hello, 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 Stamping Friends. This is Caron, your ATX Stampin' Lady. Welcome. Come on into the craft room. I'm excited to share the November roll of the die with you because I have an invited guest. Say hello to Valerie Turner. Woohoo!
Hi, friends. I'm so excited to be here with you today to do the roll of the die with Caron. This is going to be so much fun.
I'm excited, Val. Well, before we begin, right, let me just share with everybody what is roll of the die, okay? So roll of the die is, I bought these awesome sets of dies. Let me just spotlight this so that you guys can look at them directly. So I got these dies from Etsy and from Tamra, and they are a series of 5 dots that gives sort of a lot of elements from stamping, such as color, techniques, themes, and so on and so forth. So what happens with roll of the die is I roll the dice, and whatever happens is what I create from. Is that amazing or what?
This
So
is so
yesterday,
exciting.
it is. So when I first started Roll of the Die, I rolled the die live the day of, and I created the day of. Well, I decided to give myself a little bit of grace, right? And so I rolled the night before. So now I can think about it a little bit and get some awesome products. So yesterday when we rolled the die, we came up with the die rolled in colors, sympathy, punches, embossing, and over the top. Now, if you're not familiar with the Stampin' Up! In colors, the current in colors, which is current for 2025 to 2027, I'll let you know those again. They're Darling Duckling, Timid Tiger, Strawberry Slush, Cloud Cover, and Secret Sea. And then there's the other set of in colors, which is the 2024 to 2026. Val, do you want to name those colors? Do you know those colors off the top of your
Oh
head?
gosh, I don't know them off the top of my head. No.
Not a problem. Petal Pink, no, Pretty in Pink, Peach Pie, Petunia Pop, uh, Sky Shamrock, and Summer Sky, I think is what the 2024 to 2027 in colors are. Now, sympathy and over the top, girl, I'm not sure how we're going to work with the over top and sympathy since I generally don't do over the top sympathy cards. But hey, that's what the dice roll. So that's what we're going to roll with. Okay.
Yes.
Now, heat embossing, we didn't specify, the die doesn't specify whether it's heat embossing, dry embossing, or any other type of embossing. So that's, unless we specify it amongst ourselves, it's up to you, whatever you choose. And of course, punches is self-explanatory. So how this is going to work for us today is, why do I look like I'm all crooked here? Um, so how this is going to work for us today is Val and I are going to work simultaneously. When I've done this previously, I have let my guests go first, work for their allotted period of time, and then we do. But I think I want this to be a little bit more conversational. So Val and I are going to work together simultaneously to create our projects based upon the elements the die rolled. So I think, Val, do you want to say anything before you get started, before we get started with the creating process?
No, I think we can go ahead and get started. I'm excited to be a guest here with you, and let's do it.
Outstanding. So we'll get started. So, well, Val, let's talk about that. When I invited you to do this, besides absolutely not, what were your thoughts about doing roll of the die?
Well, I have to tell you, it is completely out of my comfort zone. I'm like, you want me to do what? Okay. And then you said, okay, well, we rolled the die the night before. And I went, okay, okay. And then I was like thinking, okay, can I do this? Am I really going to be able to do this? I'm working on all these other things. Because it was out of my comfort zone, I tried to like talk myself out of it a little bit. But I was like, you know what? I'm excited. I want to try this. I have to do this. And here we are. So let's just have some fun. We
Yes,
might have a few bloopers along the way too. Who knows?
exactly. All right, so let's do that then. Let's just jump right in. Well, how did you come up with the products that you're using, if you don't mind my asking, or how the card that you're going to make today?
Okay, so with this, especially with this being my first time participating in this type of event, and like I said, being a little bit out of my comfort zone, I was like, oh gosh, what am I going to create? And I thought about it, and I thought about you know, I have a whole library of ideas, from
Mhm.
teaching my classes every month, just the same as all of our guests and customers. They have a whole library of ideas too. And, it doesn't hurt to pull from a past idea and recreate. So, over the top, you're going to see that I chose to do a little bit of a fancy fold. And so I took an idea of a fancy fold that I had previously done, and
Mhm.
I am changing it up with different stamps and different paper and making it to fit what we have today. So that's also a little tip for all of our guests out there too. Don't when you need a quick card on the fly, because I don't create quick easy on the fly, right? It takes me a while to think about it, right? So if you need a quick card, there is nothing out there that says you can't take a previous idea and
That is
reuse
very
it.
true. That is very true. Well, let me ask you another question, and I should have asked. What does over the top mean to you?
Well,
Because that was one of the things that I struggled with when I started. Is like over the top. What does that mean?
right. I had to think about that one a little bit too. And, over the top, I think of a fancy fold because not everybody makes fancy fold cards. So to me, that's
Mhm.
over the top. I think that adding the embossing element, whether it's heat embossing or dry embossing, is already an over the top element that not everybody does. So that's the direction that I
That you
went
chose to
with
go.
over the top. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So for me, when I over the top can mean anything and everything to different people, right?
Yeah.
If you are used to and generally make a one layer card, then over the top means anything more than one layer for you, right?
Right.
If, so for me, when I make my cards, I am sort of in between. Um, and so for me today, I'm gonna focus on techniques. So I'm going to go over the top on techniques for me. So I'm going to use
Fun.
some ink blending. I'm going to use some die cutting. I'm going to do some masking. And I'm going to show you how I did like some marbling on vellum.
Ooh.
I don't know what that is, what it's called, but that's how I did some of the die cuts and the coloring that you're gonna see that I use in my project today. So for me, I'm gonna focus on for my over the top element is a lot of techniques. So that's what I'm.
Wow. I'm
Yes,
super excited to see all of those. This is
yes,
gonna be fun.
yes. And it's just amazing to me when you see everybody that's crafting, even though you're crafting from the same elements per se, you come up with completely different projects.
Right.
Completely. And that's the beauty of what of roll of the die and doing it with someone so you can see the different things. Um,
Yeah.
so what was I think you told me what your process was with how you came up with your card. Did you tell me that?
Yes. I chose to reuse a fancy fold idea that I had done in the past and remake it for this to fit our criteria for the roll of the die.
Awesome. So what I chose to do, well, the first thing I did was I went out to Stampin' Up's website, right? And I put in the search bar and Stampin' Up's products, and I searched for sympathy. So everything that Stampin' Up had that was sympathy related, I kind of went through my stash and I said, okay, do I have this? Do I not have this? What's the deal here? And so let me share with you real quickly before I continue working on my cards. What couple of the items that Stampin' Up! Has identified as sympathy. So one of the card or the stamp sets is Prairie Grass. This was a online exclusive from July, so it should be available. It's still available in our online store. And of course, you can see where it says, sometimes life is just hard, sending you the healing power of love. So very sorry. You're not alone. I'm here for you are the sentiments. And these are silhouette stamps. I generally think silhouette stamps when I'm dealing with sympathy cards, right? And then the other stamp set or the other product was Peace on Earth. There are a couple of others, but this is the one. These are the two that I chose to play with. Peace on Earth. And this is current. See, I got all my little
And
stickies in my. I
should
got
I
like,
tell you that should I tell you that that's the one I'm gonna use?
is it? Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So this bundle. This is a sweet collection, right? And it includes the stamp set, the dies, an embossing folder, some gems, and of course, this particular set features. And here are the dies, right? Oops,
They're so pretty. And
they are.
that little dove there cuts
Mhm.
out so pretty.
Beautifully.
I don't think I'm gonna use the dove on my card today, but it cuts out so beautifully with all the little details in it, and it looks amazing when you put Wink of Stella on it.
Eh,
Just a little hint there.
okay. Okay, well, thank you for that hint. So I'm using elements of the dies from this, but my main focal image is going to come from the Prairie Grass set.
That's gonna be
Um,
pretty.
thank you. I'm excited to see yours. I love your card making. So, Val, if you don't mind, would you like to kind of tell people how we met?
Sure. Well, so we originally met through an accountability group, and I believe it was, gosh, right after I had started with Stamping Up. So I was one of those who was with Close to My Heart for nearly 18 years
Mm-hmm.
before they closed. 15 months ago, they closed, and I made the transition over to Stamping Up. And then
Mm-hmm.
right about that time, Stamping Up had an accountability group to help. It was really open to anybody, but it was really especially helpful for all of us that came over from Close to My Heart so that we could, learn things through Stamping Up. And it was also helping to grow your business, if you'd been with Stamping Up for a long time. So it was really great that Corinne and I were able to partner together because we both had some amazing ideas and skills to add to each other. And we instantly hit it right off.
Yeah,
And we've
correct.
been meeting pretty much weekly for the last 15 months.
Yep.
And so, do I get to tell them the exciting part about last March, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, so the best part about this is that we became like such fast friends, right? And talking every week and growing our businesses together. And we actually, after it was over a year, right? Or almost a year of
Mhm.
interacting weekly, we finally got to meet
We
at
met.
Stampin' Up's
Yeah.
on stage. Yes, it was so exciting. And we were so busy that weekend doing all the on stage things. We were like, finally, we're like, okay, we gotta find a time and meet. We ran
That's
out in the
right.
hallway and met, and it was like, it was awesome. It was so
That's
awesome.
right.
Stamping Up is so much more than just crafting, my friends.
It is.
It truly is a community. It's friends. It's friends. I always say it's friends that become like family, right? I mean, it's
It,
such a great,
I would
it's
agree with
so
that.
much more. So much
I
more
would
than
agree
just
with that.
crafting.
So what
Yes.
I'm doing here is I'm kind of doing a double masking technique right here. So I did out of a piece of four and a quarter, 4 by 5 1/4 piece of cardstock. I cut out a template, like an oval template, and I kind of taped it down to my focal image panel. Then I also just did a ripping of another piece of cardstock, and I'm now using that to just lay down my color and lay the foundation for the card that I'm going to create. And I'm
Ooh,
using a couple of the ink colors. Let me see what's going on here because you moved. And I laid down first basic beige as my base color. And now I'm adding some cloud cover to the card. So this will be the in color elements that I'm bringing in for the challenge.
very pretty.
What are you doing?
So I am starting the base of my fancy fold here. And so I've taken a 4¼ by 11 piece of cardstock. So that is just a half of an 8½ by 11, right? So I've cut
Mm-hmm.
it long ways, cut it. Yep. And I've scored it. So I've done my scoring is at 1 inch and 6½ inches to create this um, little opening. Yep.
Okay. Okay. I
Yep.
think I
So
just ran across that, but I have not done a fold like that. So I'm curious to see what that looks like when you're done.
fun. Yes. Yep. And I'm just giving it some good varnishing here with my bone folder because with fancy folds, you always want to make sure that you have your bone folder handy because the better your creases are, the better your card's going to come together.
Mm-hmm.
All
Perfect.
right.
So already you can see that even though we're working with the same elements, we've already chosen to go completely different paths, right?
Right. And this paper, that's the focal point of my card, is the secret C, which is the in color. So that's where I've brought in the in colors with the paper. I'm also going to
Okay.
use some ink, but my main focus is the secret C. The next thing that I did here, just because this is a little bit different, I used the embossing folder, and I have to be honest with you, I was at a day crop yesterday, and all of my things were packed in the car, and I didn't find the embossing folder. It's still packed in the car, and I know Corinne showed that there for you. But what I wanted to say about this piece here is that I turned it sideways when I ran it through
Oh,
the embossing, and I purposely set it, and I actually made a little pen mark on my embossing folder so that I knew to set the paper right between this focal point that it has here. So it uh,
hold on. Let me
embosses.
spotlight you for a second so you can show that. Okay.
So the embossing folder embosses around these really nice, like greenery. Well, secret C or I'll say these greenery elements around the edge, and then it's got the focal point here in the center that it doesn't emboss. And what's
Mhm.
really neat about that is that the die cuts match into that center. So you can
Oh,
see,
wow.
I think I have some of the pieces here. So you can see that this element fits right in the center there, and these layer so that you have them. Now, the trick for what I did for the sizing that I needed here is I ran it through the embossing machine sideways so that I
Hmm.
could, I put my paper in sideways, and I wish that I had that folder here to show you, but rather than running the whole thing through, I stuck the paper in this way and part way through and ran it.
Hmm. Okay.
Okay.
That's interesting. Okay. So I think I've colored my panel, right? So you can see, let me take this off. So you can see what I did with my panel, with my masking.
Oh, look at how pretty that is.
Yeah, the masking that I did, and I used the colors I used there were Secret Sea, Cloud Cover, and the basic beige. Okay, so that's my lighter color.
That's amazing. I love that coloring. That's so pretty. You know what else that reminds me of? I can't wait to see when it's finished, but that right there also reminds me of some of the really pretty northern lights we've been able to see here in Michigan lately.
Uh-huh.
And sometimes they've got really pretty color, like the pinkish tones in them, but sometimes they got that green and it's the
Hmm.
black, the dark sky. So that secret sea looks like the dark sky and then it looks like the green northern lights. So I can't wait to see what comes next. This is going to
And
be
I
really
tell you,
pretty.
in my card swap group, one of my techniques for next month, or one of the card swap next month, is to do the Northern Lights technique.
Oh, fun.
Isn't that
Yes.
amazing? All right, so the other technique that I'm going to show you, or the other thing that I did, and I did some of it ahead of time, but I'm going to show you how I did it. So these are some of the die cuts from the these, what is it called? Petals? No, Peace on Earth set.
He's
This was
on
the leaf set. These are the leaves, and then
So
here are the
pretty.
doves, right? So I did the doves in white, but then I decided to create the doves on vellum
Ooh, look at how
using
pretty
the
that is.
marbling technique. So I'm going to show you how I did that because I might need to do it again.
Yeah,
Right?
I want to see that. That's really pretty. Now,
Awesome.
I'm sure you're going to tell us this, but how does the ink take? Did you just use the regular Stampin' Up! Inks
I
on that?
did
Does it it doesn't
on
wipe off it, or do you have to heat that? Yeah, well, maybe I better just wait till you show us, right? I'm excited. You're teaching me something.
all right. So in order to do this, you're going to need a couple of things. Whatever your colors are, and I'm
Oh, you're
using the
using the
Stampin' Blend.
markers.
So
Okay.
I'm using the stamping blends. Now these are alcohol based, so you'll need alcohol with this. If you use the Stampin' Right markers, those are water based, or the ink pads, those are water based. So you'll need water for these. So you can do it with either the alcohol markers or with the ink pads. It all depends. So what I did was, and you pretty much go with the dark of the set, not the lights, the darks. So I pulled all of my blues or range of blues to include the cloud cover dark, the secret sea dark. I pulled in night of navy and then the blueberry bushel. And then you kind of just randomly mark all over the darn thing, however much you want to put on there. I start with my light because, of course, you don't want to contaminate your light marker,
Right.
right?
Right.
And I just scribble wherever. And then I just move in light order, do a little bit of filling in.
I want to watch you instead of create my card.
I know, right? You just fill them in. Now, the thing that you have to think about sometimes when you're doing this process is complementary colors, right? And how they will
Right.
look when they blend together. Because some colors, if they you blend them together, you'll get mush, right? And that's
Right.
not necessarily the look that you're going for. So just be mindful of how you're mixing and the colors that you're choosing and where you're laying them down. Now, I have a water brush that is alcohol only, but if you don't have that and you just have 91% alcohol, you can kind of just dip a paintbrush in it. And oh, what did I just do here? Okay. Woo. Now, you also can, if you have, I have the Tim Holtz alcohol blending solution, right? So this one, I find that when I use this, I don't have as much control. You just dab it over wherever, and you can
What is
see
that
it.
again?
This one is the alcohol blending solution. This one says Tim Holtz,
Oh,
but you can find whatever. You can use
okay.
91% alcohol as well. right? And as
Okay.
you can see, it's already starting to mesh and blend and do whatever it's going to do. I have more control when I use the painter, the aqua painter. So I can just dab and move the color wherever I want for it to be. Okay. So depending on if you kind of want really just a free for all, you can just do the ink, the alcohol, or if you want a little bit more control, then you can go in with a the brush.
Oh
Do you
my
see what
gosh,
I did
that's
there? Look at that.
beautiful.
Yeah. You
That's
can let it
beautiful.
dry on its own, or you can I'm gonna have to go clean this out. You can let it dry on its own, or you can use a heat tool. Okay. I'm going to use a heat tool just
Wow.
to speed up the process, and I'm going to keep it on low and just let it dry. Now, everything tells you with this process, right, that you should, when you die cut, you turn it over on the side that you did not color on, and that's how you should do your die cutting or your layering. And the reason for that is if for whatever reason, if you happen to choose water as your medium, if you get somehow the card gets wet and this is the side that you die cut on, then it's water reactive, so it's going to wash it out, right? Whereas if you
Right.
turn it over on the other side, the back side of that, then you won't have that particular issue. So I have already die cut, and I might do it again, but I wanted to show you how I did that.
I love that technique. I've not done that before, so I'm excited to try that.
Woohoo! And so when I did it the first time, this is what I got. Got my little doves and some of the branches. So what I want to do is I'm going to layer my vellum pieces over the white.
So I'm going to be curious to see what adhesive you choose to use with the vellum. I know that's always the big question. What
Mm-hmm.
adhesive do you use with vellum?
Well, with vellum, you can use pretty much any adhesive with vellum. There is an adhesive that says it's specific to vellum. I don't use that. What I try to do is you can use liquid glue, pour a little bit on a surface, whether it's your glass mat, and use a sponge and dab it in there, and it won't kind of seep through it.
Okay.
Then there's some other things. I think we have it, but I don't think I have any. But I don't think I have any, but I do have, and I'm not going to say it because it is not a Stampin' Up product. And it's called, it's Sticky Specs. So it's one of those adhesive, it's like an adhesive sheet that if you just kind of put your image, whatever it is you want adhesive on over it and burnish it, it picks up adhesive. It's kind of like the modern day version of, say, what's that machine called? A Xyron machine,
Oh, okay.
right? And I think we can do it with the Stampin' Up double-sided adhesive sheet. That is a
Right.
little bit strong, so you just need to be very careful about that. And then once I have this on, I'm going to grab for my reversible tweezers. There's adhesive on there already. And just like that, we're going to carefully align like so. And as you can see, you don't see any,
No.
um, you won't see it through, you don't see adhesive through it. So we'll have one piece that's colored. And I'm going to do this with the other one. Actually, I think I'm going to not do that one. I might hold on to that. I'm going to color that one. Okay. So now we're going to go ahead and grab our stamp. So, you know, Stampin' Up! Had that amazing join offer last month. Did you have new members to your team, Val?
I did. I'm super excited about that. And so were my new team members to join us. It was an amazing offer.
It was. It was. And I'm for those of you watching, if you took advantage of that opportunity, you just don't know. It was just amazing. Whether you joined my team or Val's team, welcome to the Stampin' Up! Family, okay?
And
It is an amazing. I
you
had
had new
one.
team
I had
members.
one person
Yes.
join. So I was
Yes.
excited
That's
about that. I was excited about that.
good.
So you can join Stampin' Up! As a demo. You can be a hobby demo, which means you shop just to get the discount. You can shop for, I call myself a hybrid demo.
Yeah.
And people always ask me, what's a hybrid demo? Well, you're like me where you want to have the discount because we like, who doesn't like to save money, right?
Right.
And then you do that, and then you do things like do videos, you hold classes, those types of things. So that's what a hybrid demonstrator is. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my stamp. What did I do with my stamp? Did I put it back on here? I sure did. How's your card coming?
It's coming along. I had to decide. I couldn't decide what side of the paper I wanted to use, so I went around about that a little bit. But I've done some stamping on the inside here. This is going to be, well, it's actually going to go on the back on this fancy fold. So I
Mhm.
stamped with the Secret C, the big hugs for a good friend, and I'm just working away over here. Yep. One of the things that I'm going to be doing next here is I'm creating a little stopper. This is going to be an easel card, and I'm
Uh-huh.
creating a little stopper here. So I'm going to put some dimensions on the back of this
Mhm.
to give it a nice place for my uh, easel to rest.
Okay. So I'm gonna stamp my focal image now on here, and I'm gonna heat emboss it. If you guys know me at all, you'll know that I heat emboss almost everything that I can. If I'm going to be coloring with alcohol markers, I tend to heat set my colors. If I'm going to be, I do double heat emboss on my sentiments. It just gives it a
Wow.
different look when I do that. So heat emboss, when I emboss, generally I will always double heat emboss. All right. Now, before I do that, I gotta clean this off. So it's important when you're embossing, especially with heat embossing, that you kind of run an anti-static tool, the anti-static powder over it. It just eliminates some of the oils that and dust that may be on the card from your fingers or from wherever that can hold on to that sticky powder, that embossing powder, and put that where you don't want it to be. I'm not seeing if anybody's commenting. So let me see if I can head out there and see if there are any comments, because you and I are just talking
I know I
and there might
haven't
be people
seen,
talking to them.
I don't know if I'll see comments either. I haven't seen any, but I don't know if I will see them in my view as a guest or if you
Mhm.
will see those.
Hmm.
I know, I haven't seen people talking.
Uh-oh. I thought I had turned the volume off. Okay, I'm not seeing any chats or any comments, so we're good there. So I had to go out to YouTube from my my iPad over there just to see if there are any comments going on out there. All right, so now that we have that, I'll grab my powder.
That looks beautiful.
Yeah. Now, the card itself, it might not be over the top, but it's the techniques that we're using that's just gonna make this whole card pop.
I think everything that you've shown us so far is over the top.
Oh, well, there you go. See, there you go. What's over the top to one might not be to another, and so on and so forth, right?
And that is true.
So that's the beauty of the dies. I mean, you just get to be as creative as you are, or you can be within the parameters of what the die has rolled. So when I first saw that, and I seen, I think Julie Davison is another demonstrator. She does it with her mom. She doesn't call it roll of the die. I think they pick like a stamp set or a project or something, and they design based on that. But it just goes to show, like I've said before, that, with so many different, the way people create is so different that using the same product, using the same tech elements, you still come up with different projects.
Right. That is very true. Now, one thing that I want to mention real quick about this fancy fold that I'm putting together here, when you
Well,
put this
Val,
piece
wait just a
down,
second. Let me finish heat embossing. So
okay,
I'm going to interrupt you.
sure.
All right, go ahead.
Sure. That is beautiful. One of the things I just wanted to mention real quick on this fancy fold that I'm putting down. So you saw me a minute ago that I was putting the foam tape on the back, the dimensionals on the back of this piece. Before I put this piece down, I actually lifted this up to see where it was going to naturally fall before I placed this piece down. So you don't want to put it too high and then your card's not sitting. You want to see where it's going to naturally make that angle there.
Okay, that's cool. I really do have to try that fold. I've not done it before.
I did this fold for the first time a month or two ago, and
Mm-hmm.
I've been in love with this fold lately. So it's been like
Your
it's
go-to.
been my go-to when I'm asked to create on the fly. I've used it a few times already, actually. Made some Christmas cards with it. I made a fall card, and if I thought I would have brought the fall card in here to show, but I didn't bring it with me right here. But yeah, so I've been having fun with this fold. It's been and it's a fancy fold in an easel, and it looks like it's challenging, but it's
Mm-hmm.
super easy. And that's the beauty of it. I like the things that give that little extra, that little over the top, but that they're super easy to create.
Okay, perfect. All right. Let's see what I'm kind of almost done with my card.
I
Almost.
am too. I'm
Oh.
almost done as well. I just have to I'm going to do some heat embossing here.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if I can get I know your heater wasn't very loud when you were heat embossing. I don't know how loud mine's going to be, but that's going to be the next thing I'm going to do here. So
Right. Well,
I'm
I'll let you go on.
almost,
I won't talk during that. You go right ahead.
well, I'm going to be a minute yet because I got to get ready, but that's going to
Okay.
be my next thing.
All righty.
And for those of you who maybe are new to uh, the polymer stamp sets, because now that Stamping Up no longer is going to carry the red rubber stamps, just making sure everybody knows that you should season your clear stamps before you use them. And one of the best ways that I do that, quick and easy way, is just to rub it on my hands. And it's like seasoning it like you would season a new frying pan before you would use it.
Oh, I like that what do you call it? Alliteration. Is that what that's called? Alliteration?
I
I
think
like that.
so. That's a big word for a Sunday, no?
All right. So now I'm just going to take my die cut elements, these branches or these leaves, and I'm just going to kind of put them on here as a design element and finish that part out. But I'm going to bring this guy back in. And I got to be really careful on this because actually I'm just going to use a little bit of liquid glue because I can just see myself ripping my delicate vellum die
Yes.
cut here, trying to pull it off of that. So just little dots. You don't need a lot if you are going to use another medium. Just a little dot will help for it to adhere. Oops.
So I know that you already went over some tips with embossing, so I will let you continue to show what you're showing there as I'm getting this ready and using the embossing buddy and getting
Mhm.
prepped here.
Oh, do you have any other tips that I may not have shared that you use?
The only other tip, now I am embossing on a dark color, but one other tip that I do like to share with embossing is that number one, you want to keep your heat gun moving, and number two, especially if you're embossing on white, I suggest to people to heat from the underside
Mm,
because if you get too close to what you're embossing, the heat can discolor or yellow burn your paper a little bit. But if you're doing it from the bottom, if you get any of the discoloration, it's going to be on the bottom.
okay. Good tips. Good tips. And so now what I'm just kind of laying my things out right here just to see, where and how I may want to use them, where I'm going to do dimensions, if I'm going to do dimension. Oh, this one, I think I've used this one. I think I'm going to use this one instead.
And I haven't forgotten about my punch element yet. I've got an idea for that too. I almost forgot for a moment, but I said, oh no,
Uh-oh.
I don't want to forget
Uh-oh.
that.
Well, Val, can you share do you know a little bit about what else is happening at Stampin' Up? Because I do know, and just for any of our listening audience, Stampin' Up just released for demonstrators now the January through April mini catalog, 2026 mini catalog. Have you looked at it
Yes.
yet? Oh my God.
I have. There are some really awesome things in there.
I know. I know. I think I have like almost the entire catalog like highlighted in because when I go through a catalog, I kind of highlight in colors. So if it's in like yellow, this is I must get this. If it's like an orange, it's like, well, not. I think almost everything is in yellow.
Oh boy.
Almost everything is in yellow. And
Yes,
then
'cause there's a lot of great things.
mhm.
I
And then
just,
go ahead. When
I,
I get it, I when I get it, I turn that yellow to green so I know and keep track of what I have
oh,
purchased
that's a good
already.
idea. So what are you doing?
Mhm.
Flagging it with like a sticky note or something? Or how do you,
Well, I highlight it with yellow.
oh, and then you put, okay, green
Uh-huh.
over it. Yes.
Uh-huh.
I just realized I did the embossing powder on the wrong side. I don't know if anybody will really notice the little detail on here, but I put it on the wrong side.
Oh my gosh.
It's all right. It's all good.
It is.
All right,
It
I'm gonna
is.
go ahead and use my heat here. So I'm gonna just move it off to the side a little bit. And
Okay.
I'll put it on low so it's not as loud.
So this is the question I'm going to ask our viewers, right? So this is the first time that I have done roll of the die in this way, in which it's more conversational between my guest and myself. And I'm gonna post a link to one of my earlier videos where I did it in a different format. But I'm gonna let you take a look at both, and then come back and let me know if you kind of like which medium you like better that might influence a little bit in terms of how, if Val decides to come back next time, how the format that we choose to do next time. But Val, I'm also thinking about, like just saying, hey, maybe naming a stamp set or a bundle or a suite, and then rolling the die live on the day of, and then we get to create. What do you think about
Oh
that?
boy, you're really gonna push me out of my comfort zone. We only
What?
have an hour, remember?
Mm. But there's so many different ways that we can do this.
Yes.
So definitely, if anyone has any, anything that they'd like to see, a method that they'd like to see us work with, please let me know. And I'm open to everything. I'm willing to consider everything. So, this is all for you guys to teach you guys, to share with you guys. So if there's something you see that you like, please don't hesitate to reach out and let me know, hey, this is what I'd like to see, and we can work on that.
Yes, that would be fun. I always love to know what other people want to see and being able to do the things that, people are looking for.
Mm-hmm. All right, so I decided because it is sympathy, this is a retired punch. And for you guys that are watching, I don't retire any of my punches. Punches, I just don't. I love them. They come in handy. They're quick. So I don't really get rid of any of my punches when they retire from Stampin' Up because I can always use them. This one is from the TaylorMade, I think it was called TaylorMade stamp, TaylorMade set. Hold on, I always put labels on things. Yes, this was the tailored tag from the Truly Tailored bundle, and this was from 2018. So does that tell you I don't throw anything out? I don't get rid of anything. And I already tested it to see if it would, the sentiment would fit in there, and it did. But I also punched out the modern oval um, punch as well. Do you guys have any, do you like anyone better than the other? I'd love to hear your thoughts. I might stamp them both out and then decide, but if you have a preference for the modern oval or the tailored tag, let me know.
I was heat embossing, so I didn't see which one you did, which ones you were showing. And I
Oh, so,
decided to turn this over and redo it on the other side while you were chatting. So I,
so my choices are the tailored tag. This was from 2018, the tailored tag punch or the modern oval.
mm,
So those are the two that I'm choosing from.
okay.
So the other thing I'm going to do now is another technique is I'm going to do a little bit of ink dragging over the label. That way I can add something just a little bit different to it. And I'm going to drag the cloud cover ink over. I need a piece of paper or something because I don't want to do it on my little mat there. I think we're doing good on time, Val. What do you think?
Okay. Yeah, I think so. I'm not sure. Yeah, we got 10 minutes. Yeah.
Yes. And I could definitely be finished in 10 minutes.
I think I can too. I think I was so wrapped up in watching what you were doing that I was not creating as much. But I think that I am just about done. So I don't know. I should have looked to see if this was current. And I know Crenshaw that the dies that come with this set have some greenery, some leaves in them, but because we were
Mhm.
bringing in punches, I decided to use this as a instead. And I have to tell you, I love our dies. I love that there are so many different elements to each of our stamp sets. But I also love a punch because they are so quick and easy. You don't need to grab out anything, just your punch and your paper, and you are ready to go.
Val, you and I think way too much alike. Is that the bow punch?
Is that what?
Is that the bow punch?
I'm not sure what which one this is called. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, it's the bow punch.
Is it? Okay.
And this is what's sitting on my desk. Okay.
Oh
As
my
another,
goodness. Look at you.
we think
We
too
think
much
so
alike.
much alike. We think so much alike. I wish that I would have thought to bring in some vellum. That would have been really pretty with these. Yeah.
All right, so this is the ink dragging technique, and I'm just going to drag the ink right over it. This is also another way, if, for example, you didn't have any cloud covered cardstock, that you could kind of cover it and use it. Now, I'm not trying for my ink drag to be perfect, but I'm just trying to get a little bit of interest before I heat emboss my sentiment on here. And I'm choosing cloud cover as my ink drag. This is the beauty of having an ink mat. Do you know the thing about having an having a, what is the thing in my brain? I'm thinking about something. Um,
Like a
no,
silicone mat or like
no,
glass mat?
the silicone mat, but also the oh gosh, the glass mat. Okay. And I never use my glass mat. The glass mat, you can use any media, you can do any kind of technique on there, right? But I never use my glass mat. I don't want to get it dirty, even though it's meant to be.
Oh,
That's
um,
why I always will have like a piece of the grid paper over it or something like that. I
yeah.
just won't do it. I just will not do it.
Well, I understand. I do put a when I'm stamping, I often put paper over my glass mat too.
Hmm. I know, and it's really not meant to do that.
Right.
You are meant to be able to, do your techniques right on that glass mat, but I'm like, I'm not trying to get this dirty.
Right.
All right, so I just did a little bit of ink dragging on my labels. Then I'm going to stamp them and heat emboss them um, to make my sentiments pop. I'm not seeing anybody telling me which one they prefer, so I'm going to have to just do a little bit of value might be my deciding factor there.
Oh, so you did both of them. Let's see it held
Yeah.
up to where you're gonna put it.
Yeah. Give me a sec. And that's the thing is like I'm not quite sure. I might put it down here to cover the butt part down there. And if I do that down here,
I think I like the triangular one. I don't know what it's called, the shape.
mm-hmm. I like that one too.
And
And
it
then
and it allows more of your image to see. Yeah. Um,
I'm gonna
oh, go ahead.
no,
Oh
no, I'm
yeah,
just
that's
mumbling to
beautiful.
myself.
That balances it nice. Yeah, and that looks nice with the dove because the dove isn't oval. It's got some triangular shape to it. So I like those two together.
Oh, there you go.
Before I move on to gluing this down, I was just going to show, and I had my little cheater sheet here with my measurements.
Okay.
But a little tip, uh, if you're, so we only want to put adhesive on part of this because otherwise we're going to seal our card shut, right? So I'm matching this up to that opening in
Mm-hmm.
the embossed piece.
Mm-hmm.
And a little trick is to put a post-it note down where your edge is. So now I know that I'm only putting adhesive on this portion and not to go past that edge of my post-it note for where my adhesive's going to go. You
All
can
right.
also use the Stampin' Up! Masking paper to do the same thing.
All right. So you're telling me I need to go invest in post-it notes because post-it notes are something that's you. Well, if you don't have post-it notes in your craft room, you're missing out, right?
Right. So if
That is
you're
like
like
a
me,
staple.
yeah, so if you're like me and you turn something over and then you put your adhesive on it and you put it on the wrong side, like post-it notes are a quick and easy trick for that. And I usually have a post-it note handy anyways because I write my directions on it. And if it's a card that I'm going to keep in my stash, I just
Mhm.
keep those post-it notes to the back.
Oh, there you go. I have no idea what I just did with my
And you see what I did with the punch? I added in some little, I was debating about adding in the little things, but I think I like the simpler effect of just the little punch pieces there.
Oh, okay. That is so pretty.
Thank
That
you.
I'm almost done with mine. I know it's taking a little long because I'm talking and I'm watching Val. So apologize. So I'm
I
gonna
know
double heat and emboss.
we got so wrapped up in watching each other.
Yes. I love to double heat emboss. That is my favorite embossing technique. I do it with my sentiments almost all the time. And there we go. And so you see when we do the embossing, the little ink dragging. So now I don't have, sorry, the ink dragging over the sentiment strips. Now it doesn't seem just like it's just very white. It's just another element that I went over the top, right?
I'm not seeing yours. For some reason, it's showcasing mine. Can
Oh,
we
because I
see
didn't,
yours?
of course, because I did not remove the spotlight.
There.
That's why.
Oh, look at how pretty.
Yeah. So this is what that is, what that looks like. There we go. And I double embossed it so you can see a little bit more texture than single embossing. I don't know if you can see it there. All right, so what I'm going to do now is to finish this project up is I'm going to just add where's my glue dots? Well, since you don't have glue dots, I'm going to run a strip of Seal Plus over the back of my strip. Val, did I tell you I finished my kit, the one that I was talking to you about?
Which kid is that? You didn't tell me you finished it. Which one?
The one that I asked you if you had that extra sheet of cardstock or designer
Oh,
paper.
yes.
Yes,
Yes,
so I
and
finally finished that.
oh good, 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 good.
Yes.
And while you're working on finishing up your card there, we probably should, and we only have a few minutes left, be sure that we tell everybody the exciting news that's coming up later this month.
Go right ahead.
We haven't told. I can't believe we got through an hour and we haven't told them the exciting news. Stampin' Up for the first time ever is doing a Black Friday sale. Can you
Oh
believe
my
it? We
God.
are so excited. I can't wait. It starts on November 25th and it goes through December
First.
1st, and it is
Uh-huh.
going to be 40% off of select items.
Yes. You know what else is their Stampin' Up is doing? We're
What's
doing
that?
we're doing a Cyber Monday sale. And
Oh
the
my
cyber,
goodness, really?
yeah,
What?
yeah.
Tell us about that.
The Cyber Monday is it's a deal that Stampin' Up is offering, excuse my language there, um on Paper Pumpkin subscriptions. Guys, with the
Oh,
Paper
wow.
Pumpkin, yeah, with the Paper Pumpkin subscription, um you can subscribe in 3 months, 6 months, or annual subscription. You can also do month to month. But you don't get the discount or the savings on the month to month, right? But what Stampin' Up is offering is 20, 40, and $80 off each of those subscription options, right? The 3 months, you get $20 off. The 6 month, you get $40 off. And if you subscribe for a year, you get $80 off the subscription price. Isn't that amazing?
That
And
is
I love
amazing.
all
And
of my, go ahead.
yeah, go ahead. We were both going to
No,
say
no,
the
no, go
same thing.
ahead.
We love all of our paper pumpkins, and I
We
love
do.
that it comes to the house every month, and it's a box full of creativity that I can just um, create while I'm watching TV, or I like to take it when I go to crops, day crops, or events, or even like when I have to get an oil change. I mean, who likes to sit and wait for an oil change? I love to take those paper pumpkin boxes and work
Uh,
on them while I'm sitting there waiting for my oil change because everything you need is right in the box.
yes. I do love all of Stampin' Up's kits for that very reason. That very reason. I'm one of those people that if I'm going to go to a crop, I stress, I fuss because I'm like, I want to make sure that I have everything I need if I change my mind, if or I don't want to get where I'm going and forget this, that, or the other. So when I am traveling, I make sure that I grab a kit or two, and that's what I work on. I don't do my own card kits. I just do Stampin' Up's kits. That's what I do.
Yes.
I love them. And we're doing a Stampin' Up's doing an incentive this month that if we are able to, as demonstrators, if we're able to sell at least 10 kits, we get a pack of, what is it called? Dots and Stripes,
Yes. It's
designer
an
series paper.
exclusive just for that event, I believe. Is that correct? Yes.
I believe that's correct. So it will not be
Yes.
available in a catalog. It won't be available anywhere. So
Right.
if you are watching and you are one of my customers, I am wanting to get the designer series paper. So please pop on over to my my online store and grab a kit or two.
Yes.
Now, Val, I don't think you mentioned, where are you located?
I am located in Gaines, Michigan.
Okay.
Yes. So interesting. You're in Austin, Texas, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm in Gaines, Michigan. We're like halfway across the US here. But yes, it's so fun how Stamping Up has connected us.
Yes. Awesome. Okay, so I'm done with my card now. Before I finalize it, or as I'm doing it, guys, you can do so many other things before you add all of these other embellishments. You could go ahead and run this through an embossing machine to give it a little bit of texture on the baseline. You could have done it on glimmer paper. You can add a little bit of Wink of Stella over things for it to do a little bit more shimmer and shine in the process. But I'm not going to do that today. That's not one of the requirements. The requirements were, Val, do you remember what they were?
They were embossing, which you did heat embossing. They
I
were
did.
in colors, which you
Mm-hmm.
used Secret Sea cloud cover, right? So did
Mm-hmm.
I. Those were the colors I used too.
Mm-hmm.
There was let's see, over the top. You have definitely gone over the top, my friend. I love all the techniques that you have shared there. And so over the top, embossing in colors, um,
Punches.
punches, and I can't remember. Was there a fifth one? What was my fifth one?
Sympathy.
Oh, sympathy. Oh, good
The
golly.
thing in the
Right. How did I
infinite.
miss that?
Yes. And there you have it. All right,
That is
Val, give me a second.
beautiful.
Give me a second. I'm going to spotlight your card so they can see all the beauty that you created. And then I'm going to spotlight mine. Unfortunately, I don't think I can spotlight both of them together. Otherwise I would do that. All righty. All right.
All right. So
So this
here
is
you'll
Val's
see.
card.
Yeah. So here we have our fancy fold card, which it's kind of a little bit hard to show on camera, but it's an easel card that stands up. Maybe if I tip it this way, you can see how it stands up on that triangular shape
Mm-hmm.
there.
Mm-hmm.
And uh, your writing portion is on the back here. And I've used the punches, I used the embossing, both heat embossing and with an embossing folder.
Folder. Mm-hmm.
Yep. And of course, I used the Peace and Earth and the paper that matches with this suite as well. And so, yeah, super cute, quick and easy, fun folds, and that fancy fold and the embossing, both heat and um, the folder make it an over the top.
Outstanding. All right, and so here's my card. Just to spotlight this one. So here's a card that I created using the elements, as you can see. I chose to go technique heavy as my over the top, and I shared with you some ink dragging techniques, the heat embossing technique that covered the embossing portion of the challenge. I used the tailored tag punch as my tag express tag. Of course, it's sympathy because the sentiment does say sympathy. And as Val
And
said
we
to you,
both
I
used
did
the same.
the same stamp set. But I also used Prairie, what did I call it? Prairie something. Prairie leaves, I
Yes,
think is what it's called. Prairie grass.
I'm just pointing out how our minds go together because
Yeah,
out of the sympathies that we could have picked, we both picked the same
the
one.
same ones. Yes. And you know, that's the beauty of being with Stampin' Up is the people that you meet and the sharing of the creative ideas. Now, Val, I have another question to ask you before we say sign off and say goodnight. Will you be
Okay.
joining me again for a roll of the die?
Yes, I will. I'm excited. I'm excited, but I don't know. It makes me a little nervous if we're going to roll it the same day we're going to create. I don't know. You might have to ease me into that one a little.
Okay. All right. So for any of my customers that or my fellow demonstrators, if you are interested in joining the Roll of the Die crew, I'd be more than happy to have you. If there's more than two of us, of course, we probably will change the format because I don't know about three, four people talking over each other at the same time. That just might not work. But um, we would definitely welcome having additional people because sharing creativity is what we do. Creativity is the name of our game. So, on that note, you guys, again, thanks for joining Val and I for the November Roll of the Die. We had an awesome time creating with you. Until next month, happy stamping. Bye bye.
Have a good day, friends.